Hey guys, this is Huzaifa for my YouTube channel. Today we have an amazing person. It's Hassan Al Saidy from the Spiritual Walks. He's also a YouTuber and we are like-minded people. We are kindred spirits. So I'm so much amazed to introduce him and I have some of the questions which I have prepared. So
Excellent. Thank you for having me here, Huzaifa.
yeah, definitely. And you can find all the links of his social media in will be in my description. You can check his YouTube channel and it's all about spirituality. He talks about meditation and how it can help and several other aspects regarding self-improvement. So first of all, I would like to hear from you only regarding about yourself.
Sure. So, yeah, of course, as mentioned, my name is Hassan, and I am from the UK. I live in London, currently also working in Manchester. So I'm between the two cities. And yeah, I initiated this venture or this what we are calling now the spiritual walks, um, because I feel like what the world needs most, especially in times like these, is to look inwardly. Very often we go through a lot of suffering, and that's because we try to seek the reason as to why we suffer externally. But if we begin to look inwardly, we
It's
can
like
realize.
it's like what you are internally will reflect onto your outer side. You mean to say that, right?
Exactly, exactly. And so the reason why it's called the spiritual walks, it's because walking implies that it's a journey. And so looking inwardly is actually a journey that we begin, especially if we are focused and conditioned to just be stimulated by the external world the whole time, forgetting the internal space.
Yeah, what made you do that? I mean, do you relate your happening in your life with this or something else? What made you do that? This spiritual
Yeah,
walk.
I have always been a self-reflecting person, an introspective person. I spend a lot of time looking at aspects of my life and how to improve them. This has always been something that comes naturally to me. Um, However, I can't say that there is a sort of event, a mishap, or an unfortunate event that happened to me in my life that shocked me into wanting to go this path. Um, what it really is me asking questions. It's the introspective nature of myself, asking the most simplest of things, such as why are we here? What is this all about?
Yeah.
And as we enter this existential realm that we are conditioned not to enter by our surroundings, there is a lot that can be found. There is a lot of truths that can be discovered, and at times the truth does hurt. But essentially, I realized that there is a spark within myself, and to then realize that this spark is also within everyone. And so it's become my mission and my life purpose to try and have others recognize this spark.
Yeah,
Because the most beautiful,
I recently saw that you want to help people to become the greatest version. And my channel
yeah,
is same about. However, the way is different. Little bit you are more into spirituality, like meditation and all that. I also do mindfulness meditation. So tell us what impact mind meditation can have on a person, so that others can will be able to know from your experience.
sure. So meditation, I recently highlighted, and I will say it again, that there is actually no right or wrong way of doing meditation. Essentially, what we are doing is we are inviting ourselves to become aware of the current situation or the current moment. And so we start with the things that are given, that are obvious, but have actually become less obvious over time as we begin to overlook them. And so one example is the breath. Very often as we go through life, we become busy and entangled in life where we forget that we are breathing, when this is one of the most fundamental things that are happening.
Yeah,
Same way.
it's said that to breathe properly is to live properly. So in that way, it is connected.
Exactly. So it's really a fundamental aspect of life. Take away the breath, and there is no life. And so, if you breathe properly, indeed, you live properly.
Yeah, I have also now when someone hears about spiritual walk, he or she can connect like in spirituality from religious point of view. But what are your thoughts on it? Is it related to religion or is it from self development or personal self improvement point of view? What are your views?
I receive inspiration from everywhere, including religion, including non-religious aspects of life, but mostly also from my observation of life at this moment. Everything that religion teaches is essentially pointing towards an essential truth, an underlying truth that every religion tries to point towards. And so every every religious practice, if you really look at the fundamentals of it, what it's trying to do is it's trying to raise your awareness, whether it's fasting, whether it's praying,
Yeah, I recently
meditation.
saw your video regarding fasting. It shows how fasting, what are its benefits. And currently, I also know, and I am also doing Ramzan. Ramzan Kareem is there, and right now we are all into Ramzan, but it's not really,
Ramadan Kareem.
yeah, it's not related to religion, but it's the impact that has been on to us regarding fasting matters. So, what are your other future plans regarding this? What are you trying to create exactly through this YouTube and other social media?
Yeah, so as I was going to mention earlier, um, when you let's say discover something beautiful, let's say it's food, a fruit or a cake, maybe whatever your favorite
Yes,
food is. When you discover this and you enjoy it, you begin to naturally be inclined to want to share it with other people, right?
yes,
So
yes, yes,
there is this element of compassion within every human being, because sharing just makes the moment slightly more beautiful, right? You may some people may not inclined to share, but for me personally, I find it. Um, I realize that it makes it a lot more worthwhile sharing. So, but by me discovering this spark that we have within us, I wanted to make sure that other people also experience this. And so it's my mission to share this experience with others so that they can experience this, so that they can also become the greatest version of themselves. And we are all on a journey. I am on a journey to become the greatest version of myself. I'm constantly trying to raise my awareness to see how I can improve myself. And so essentially, at the end of the day, if more people realize themselves inwardly, the experience in life is enhanced. And with an enhanced experience, that in turn can continue to enhance the experience.
yes. And for that, do you have any mentors or the person who you follow on social media to get inspiration or some kind of knowledge or skills?
I wouldn't say that I have a specific mentor that I, you know, listen to or follow. Um, but I can say and realizing that essentially a piece of wisdom can be gained from any element of life, whether it's, the most basic forms of life like a plant, a tree, an ant, a baby, a human being, or an elderly person who has experienced a lot of life. You can gain a lot of lessons from all of this. By observing yourself, you can learn a tremendous amount of lessons as well. And that has really helped me pave the way to realize what needs to be done in the moment.
Yeah, and furthermore, just sorry, I just need to refer what I have just taken the notes. Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
you mentioned in your about section that it's about higher perspective. So what does it mean? Let us know in details because we don't have any exact idea what is that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what I mean with a higher perspective is Imagine that you are stuck in a maze. Okay, so you look left and right, all you see is walls, and there is a directionless path. So every turn you take, you don't actually know where it's taking you. And so this we can, say that this is life. Very, it's a very mysterious phenomenon. The unknown is always prevalent. We don't know where we are going, essentially. And so this makes things difficult. It brings about suffering. And obviously, if you don't know where you are going, you are bound to come across obstacles and fall over. And so essentially what we need here is clarity, right? And so imagine if you could look at the maze from a bird's eye point of view. And so as you look from the bird's eye point of view down, you can see all the routes of the maze. And you immediately know where is the exit. And so this brings about clarity. And so the whole point of the spiritual walks is to give an invitation to the viewer and to everyone to look at life from a higher perspective.
Amazing, amazing. That's really amazing. It's your the way of explanation, and it's amazing. Next, I don't have any specific question, but if I would be glad if you can give small meditation, 10 minutes or something, a meditation session, or what
Right,
else you can do, or
right
from
now,
your point of view. Yeah.
yeah, sure. We can do this, but what we can also do is we can try to sort of um,
Relax, anything, any time of
investigate.
relaxation or self improvement technique which you might know, so that you can share.
Sure. What we can do is we can together inquire and explore a higher perspective, right? And so usually what I tend to do is look at the fundamentals. This is also a very meditative practice. So I could be having this conversation with myself, you could be having this conversation with someone else. But essentially it begins by looking at the fundamentals. So right here, right now, in this very moment, right, as we are speaking, we are actually speaking to a screen, but somehow the message, reaches you. And
Yes,
in this
and we
very
are
moment,
connected.
exactly, and we are connected, even though we are hundreds of miles away.
Yes.
And what we are doing is we are expanding the sort of awareness and realizing what is really in place. Because right now, what can also happen is as we focus, right, as we focus on this conversation or as we focus on anything in life, when that becomes the entirety of life, we miss out on all of the other happenings. And so that, you could say, brings about a lack of clarity. And so what I initially do, and we can do this together, Huzaifa,
Yeah.
is initially become aware of the breath, okay? In every moment you are breathing,
Yeah.
and in every moment something else is happening. The heart is beating, right? And at the same time, seeing is happening, right? For as long as your eyes are open, you can't stop seeing. For as long as the ears are
Yes.
open, you can't stop hearing. All of these things are happening at the same time, right? And there is a combination of the record of the observation, right? And so as we begin to look at this, we begin to also realize that even though we are aware of the happenings within the body, there are also happenings outside as well. We are we are currently sitting in a bedroom or a room, and there may be other people around us.
Yes.
And what's beautiful is to recognize that these other people around us are also having their moment experience. They are also having a heart that beats, the breath, a hearing. And at the same time, each and every single one of us, we all have thoughts running through the head, movement, right? These are all happenings. And as we look even further, there are a lot more happenings. People outside of the room you're in or the house that you are in, people are going by on the streets, and then you have all the animals, all the trees, all the vegetation. And then as you observe this with still eyes and a still mind, eventually you recognize and realize the entirety of existence. And so what it's really doing, it's sort of unplugging you, right? And you're looking at it from a much higher point of view. And
Amazing,
so
amazing. I
this,
got your point.
yeah,
Exactly.
and so this invitation, Huzaifa, is vital, because the more we do this, the better we become at looking at the higher perspective. And the better we become at looking at the higher perspective, the more easily we can overcome suffering. Because when you go through life and you are having a difficult moment, it sometimes feels as though you are going through hell. You are living through hell and everything's working against you.
Yes, yes,
But
yes,
if you allow yourself to look at life from a higher perspective, immediately you see how tiny the problem really is, and that it's really insignificant. And
yes,
that
yes.
in itself gives you the power to move on.
Yeah, so I, I would like to know the benefits of meditation which you have experienced, and let know other also how have this meditation has helped you to recover yourself or to find
Yeah.
yourself. Because the most important question in this universe is we need to ask ourselves, who are we? That's the most important question. And one always are is on a journey to find this question. So how
Mm.
meditation can help in recovering this? Can you please throw a light on this
Yes,
and how?
sure. So, so building on what you just said, one of the fundamental questions of life is, who are we? Who am I? Right? And so meditation is essentially that exact inquiry. Because as you enter meditation, what you're doing is you are observing the fundamentals, you're observing the breath, you're observing the movement of the mind, you are observing everything that there is to observe internally, right? And what happens is, the more you observe, the more you realize that there are different depths to observe that were previously not visible, that were previously unclear, solely because our focus wasn't internally. So if I give you an example, if you have a field of grass, imagine that the entire life, the focus is just one blade of grass out of the millions blades of grass, right? And so what tends to happen, meditation is essentially observing that single blade of grass. And eventually, as we observe this single blade of grass, there comes a point where we realize that there is another blade of grass behind that blade of grass, right? And so this realization naturally expands our awareness, and now we see two blades of grass, right? And as we continue to see this, we see the third blade of grass, the fourth, and we realize each blade of grass has a different shape. And eventually what happens is you are sort of zooming out, and you are seeing a patch of the field of grass, and eventually you see the entire field of grass. And this is a very liberating experience, because it's a realization that you are not just this one blade of grass, right? And so to explain this in sort of normal terms, it would be that one of the benefits is that you have the ability to let go of that which causes you suffering a lot more
Yes,
easily.
yes,
Okay. And so that is one of the most important things a human being can do, because
yeah.
the reason why we suffer is because of attachment. And so if we have the ability to let go of this attachment, you live this life freely, as though it's a breeze of air going
Yeah.
through.
And from my point of view, I have also done mindfulness meditation. I regularly do for about 20 minutes mindfulness meditation. I don't have that silence practice. I cannot isolate. There is a command given in guided mindfulness meditation. And in that way, I do 20 minutes. And what I have find that when I do my regularly routine activities, that time is fixed. Suppose if I want to go at office, then at 9:30 I get ready each and every day, and it happens automatically. I don't force myself, but it happens. Why? Because I have meditated on regular basis. So that's other point that
Mm,
I need to add in this. And so, hence, you can
yeah.
continue other things. What are your teachings regarding this meditation?
Yeah. So one quote, and I think this was by Sam Harris or someone. They said that meditation is essentially the preparation for the worst day of your life, right? So the practice of meditation prepares you to go through these unfortunate events. Now, another benefit I could say is that it just generally brings about relaxation. Okay, so when moments of stress come about, when you are relaxed, you are also at your optimum in the way you function. So very often when we get stressed, we become overwhelmed and we aren't able to navigate through the tasks that we have to do. And
Yeah,
so
and
this is why many people,
one can also say that you quit multitasking when you do this. Is it true? You focus on one
yeah,
particular thing only.
yeah. So it becomes more about depth. So as you become adept at meditation, you are more into depth rather than trying to, have a broad overview of too many things. You learn how to get into deeper and deeper tasks, into deeper moments of actions.
Yeah. So any other things you want to share regarding this, or might do a small 10 minutes meditation as
Yeah.
per your convenience?
Yeah, sure. I'll be very happy to do that. I think I think that in a nutshell, to sort of wrap everything up, you can see. I hope you can see that how most of these practices, like mindfulness, meditation, as you mentioned earlier, you sort of naturally see yourself get ready to go to work, right? This this level, this observation is because you sort of allowed yourself to, you know, be unattached and unentangled by the Huzaifa that is doing all the preparations and everything, Whereas previously, you feel yourself with meditation as you create this distance between the observer and what is happening. You liberate yourself from what is happening in the moment.
Yeah. So what what is your future things about this? What are your future plans regarding
Future plan.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't like to think that far ahead. I like to take it as it comes. This at the moment, it is a huge passion of mine. I really enjoy creating these videos, having these conversations. This is definitely my life purpose. This is what I live for.
Yeah.
As to where it will take me, I don't know, and that's life. You don't know where life takes you, and so we cherish the mystery, and
Yeah.
we always seek the unknown.
Trust the
That's one
unknown.
thing.
Trust the unknown.
Exactly. One big advice for anyone who is about to embark on a journey is to always seek the unknown, because that's the only way you can introduce new things in your life. If you
Yeah.
are in a place where you are unhappy and you want to change, you've got to seek the unknown, because if you don't seek the unknown, you will only ever receive the same things you are getting now, which you are perhaps unhappy about. And so this is
Yes.
the encouragement to go out there and do new things.
Yeah. It's like if you want to become different, then you need to do different things, not the same things.
Yes, yes. Yeah. In the future, I'm also looking to do more interviews like this. I'm very happy to have conversations with people, like-minded people like
Yeah,
yourself.
I am also happy because I have done previously more than 6 to 8 interviews with Tristan Gutner and other also. And
Yeah.
it's really pleasure to have such people. Why? Because we are like-minded,
Mm,
we are kindred spirit. We have one focus. We know what is our goal and how we can help
mm,
people to achieve their goal. So that's the main
mm.
mission which I am having, to help people to become the greatest person, and do not ever give up in their life, because I have suffered in my life previously also. In 2014 there were a lot of incidents that have been happen in my life, which led me down to the downside. But somehow I got back, and I and
Nice.
that for that reason also only I have created this channel, Positive Academy, to inspire people, to motivate them.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. I wish you all the best of luck, and I really hope you achieve your dreams and many people become inspired by you.
Yeah, yeah, same to you. And do you wish to share anything else? Because still we have time. If you want, you can.
Yeah. We can do a 5 minute meditation
Yeah,
to
sure.
close this
Yeah,
interview.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But let it be general so that other people can also be benefited. I mean,
What do you mean? Sorry.
it will be a general type, right?
Yeah, it'll be a general type. So
Okay.
um, I tend to close my eyes and observe the breath as it moves in and out.
No, but will you guide? Because that's what I am asking.
Sure. Okay.
Will
Yes,
you provide
I
the
may guide. Yes.
sentences in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what.
Okay. Okay. If we take a deep breath in and out, if we do this 5 or 6 times, breath in and out, breath in and out. Breathe in and out. And make sure you breathe from your belly, from your stomach. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now continue breathing in and out at this pace. As you sit in that emptiness and stillness between each inhale and exhale. And observe the desire to try and breathe again. And realize that there are noises and activities within you and without you. These are all being observed. These are all being observed as the breath moves. Realize that there are movements of thought within the mind. There may be stories, desires. Whatever is being observed is simply being observed. There's no need to judge, no need to go along with the observation. We are allowing everything to just be as the breath moves in and out. Breathe in and out. is happening in this very moment. We don't like it, we don't dislike it, we don't. It's all just happening. And let the emptiness you feel within you be filled with gratitude and warmth. If you feel the urge to smile, smile. Now, as we open our eyes, we can now begin to continue to feel the same flow of the breath. We can feel that warmth in our heart, and we can
Yes,
allow the stillness to be.
it was really relaxing. But in the meantime, I got another question that I would like to ask. Now, a lot of people
Sure.
say that we are already breathing, but why there is a
Mhm.
need to breathe from the base of spine? What is that connection? As per normal breathing and that of base of the
Yeah.
spine.
So, if you are taking part in a very intense activity, naturally the breath becomes running, for an example, or if you are trying to react to any dangerous situation, your breath becomes very rapid and short. Your heart begins, breath becomes a lot deeper, so you take up a lot more space within the lungs, and you breathe out. And so this is the reason why taking deeper breaths, relaxation.
Yeah, are you able to hear? Because there was some problem in the connection.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, so what are your last thoughts about closing this session? What would you like to convey the message?
So I will once again share my life purpose, which is to reignite the spark of inspiration within everyone's heart that will propel them to see life from a higher perspective.
Amazing, amazing. It was really nice to have you, Hassan. I have done previous session also, like various interviews with different people, but it was different experience because your thing is totally different as per other people. Our goal is same, but you are from different prospect. So that's what has changed my belief or some you can say thoughts on what are your
Mm-hmm.
teachings and others.
I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah,
you've.
any other question which you would want to know from me, because this is the first time we have been introduced. So
Yeah.
if you want to ask any questions to me, you can also ask, because
Yeah.
it must be a two-way conversation. Both of the
Sure.
person must be involved.
Sure. Sure. I'd say that my question to you, Huzaifa, is, what is it that made you want to take part in, this initiative? So I understand that you've gone through different difficulties within your life, especially
Yes,
in 2014.
yes.
But what is your sort of future plan? What would you like to achieve from this?
Well, first of all, I would like to build up a community so that When a community is built, it takes time. It doesn't do, I mean, very fast. And once the community is built, the people that will be get involved will also help each other. In that way we
mm,
will be building some kind of tribe and will help the world to make a better place to live in. That's my major point. Next, I already started
mm,
my blog. I have
mm,
purchased my domain also, and simultaneously I'm doing a podcast on Anchor, which is available on 10 different
mm,
platforms, so that uh, uh, the
mm.
people who are different from this YouTube can also have an impact about positivity, and they can also get benefit from this.
Very nice. Very nice. Outside of this initiative, what else do you do?
Yeah, outside of this, I do business. I'm having my retail shop, and as you can see in my videos, I do videos on my workplace only. But right now, as we are into lockdown, I am into home, and
Mm,
it's been now 53 days since we are
mm,
into lockdown, and it might
mm.
get extend next to more 15 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so my basic work is
yeah.
to deal with customers. I am into customer service from beginning only, from the time I got graduated. Though my plan first was different.
Mm,
I'm a physicist by education,
mm,
and I've done MSc Physics with specialization in solid state electronics. So my first goal was into ISRO, being a physicist, to do a research. But somehow I didn't
mm.
get into that, and I shifted from that to this and my business. And so I am currently handling my business with my dad.
Well, I really hope that matters improve, so that you can get back into business, support
Yeah.
yourself, support your
How
family.
about your situation? How about your lockdown? How about your coronavirus situation? What is going on your side?
Yeah. So at the moment, they are looking to slowly ease the lockdown. So they are saying that you are allowed to meet some people. If you are able to go back to work, you can go back to work. If you can't work from home, and they are slowly easing the lockdown as time progresses. And so I think things are starting to look positive. However, we are still worried that if there is a sudden increase of people going out, we might raise the peak. More incidents, more deaths may come about. So we've got to really take it easy and slowly. But I'm positive, and I'm pretty sure that things
Yeah,
will
we must
improve.
be positive.
And
Yeah, we definitely must be
yeah, and
positive.
hopefully next time we can have this conversation, um, things are in a much better place.
Yeah. And next question I would like to answer that what are you doing apart from this social media, YouTube, sir? What is your way of living? Are you working somewhere?
Yeah, so initially I'm a recruitment consultant. So I do this full time, but obviously, and I already, during the full time job, I already started creating videos, and I initiated the spiritual walks. Um, However, right now during the lockdown, I had a lot more free time, so I decided to put more effort into it in terms of editing, and
Yes.
I started to also add some pieces of poetry to the videos most recently.
Yes.
Um, and so I'm looking to really expand. I'm also hoping to grow a community
Yeah,
with the share.
community is a must. Community is must. Through that only you can share your ideas and make other believe in yourself. That's the major step.
Yeah, yeah, excellent.
Yeah. So one lack is there. I have start previously also I have started this YouTube channel, but somehow it didn't went well. So I again restarted that the same, and now it's
Mm,
currently going smoothly.
yeah. Yeah, I guess with the whole YouTube thing, you've got to try over and over again until you find something that, number one, you enjoy creating,
Yes.
and number two, it's something that you would watch yourself, right? Um, And I personally believe that's the most important thing, because there can be an element of people pleasing, of trying to please people, to
Yes,
get views and subscribers. And so I feel like I personally have to constantly remind myself and realign myself with my purpose, rather than trying to increase
yes,
numbers and increase things.
yes, yes.
And it
That's
can
what.
be quite difficult. Yeah, it can be quite difficult at times, but we've got to continuously be aware of that and realize that, it's not about getting to 1 million views. It's
Yes,
about
yes,
creating something beautiful that
yes,
if
yes,
one person watches it and it changes them, then that's good
yes.
enough.
That's it. That's what the call is about.
Yeah,
Yeah. So nice to have you, Hassan. It's really great. And
excellent.
in future also, I would like to know more, and we can have more interviews like that. And
Yeah,
it's really great.
of course. Oh, you're always welcome, Huzaifa. Feel free to connect with me anytime you like, and thank you so
Yeah,
much for
yeah.
sparking
Thanks
this
to you
initiative.
too. Thanks to you too, because
No
we just
problem.
connected at exact time, and it is
Yeah,
great.
yeah, excellent, excellent.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Huzaifa.
yeah.
Then
Thank you
you
too.
take care.
Peace. Yes.
Take care then. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.